Alright everyone, so if you've watched the trailer for the mid-season of It's Welcome to Derry episode 5, you're probably thinking, what did we just watch? Based on the trailer, episode 5 of Welcome to Derry might be the most insane, unsettling, full-on, nightmare fuel episode of the season so far. And we finally get Pennywise showing up in a way that is honestly way scarier than anything the previous trailers hinted at. He looks like the devil himself. Today we're breaking down everything in the promotional materials, like the trailer and some of the pictures that they released, the sewers, the mist flooding the town, Dick's terrifying confession, the kids running for their lives, and Pennywise literally saying he's wondered how Lilly would taste. We're gonna cover all of that. Grab your flashlights because we're diving in. So the trailer starts with Lilly snooping in the attic, and she finds this old album book with the pictures on it, and obviously she finally sees It the clown. Before, It or Pennywise was evil and feasting on little kids. Then someone comes in, scares her, she runs for her life. It looks like maybe she does encounter something in the attic, because there are some hints of the clown being around, so some teases and stuff like that. So maybe she has a hallucination there, and that's why she's terrified as she's fleeing. But if not that, then something happens that scares the heck out of her. Then we have the kids basically coming to the conclusion that if they're gonna fight this thing, they need to stick together. And that's basically when all of them group together, even some of the adults join in, and they go to confront It at the Neighborhood house, which they now know is the place to be if they want to find out what's really happening. But based on the trailer and some of the pictures that they released, it looks like this episode will build up towards what we've been waiting for. The kids finally entering the sewers. And based on new shots, they probably get in through the Neighborhood house. Classic Derry pipeline. Creepy house, slightly worse sewers, full trauma. It's funny because later on in the trailer we do see Rose warns the general saying it cannot be controlled. But then what does the general do? General Shaw, I mean. He sends in the military to the Neighborhood house. Obviously that's not a mistake. I'm kidding, they're all dead. Anyway, it's probably gonna piss off Pennywise and things are gonna get worse. But when we go into the tunnels, right away the vibe is unreal. That yellow flashlight glow, the water rising around their ankles, echoes in the distance. It feels exactly like chapter 1, but grittier and nastier. You can practically smell Pennywise lurking. Now they did release these two other pictures of Pennywise. I did talk a little bit about this in one of my earlier videos, but obviously if you look, you can see the orange glow, which is probably from the flashlights. Now I don't know what happened here, but Pennywise looks pissed. He is mad. Maybe something didn't go his way. And obviously the military coming in could be a part of that as well. But obviously you can see the kids getting pulled deeper and deeper. Everyone's question is if this was a good idea, and it probably wasn't. But we get this moment in the trailer where they're basically panicked. They look terrified, and it feels like it is already inside their heads before it even appears. And Lilly, man, she's already breaking, which is important later when Pennywise specifically targets her again. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a sec. But we cut to Dick Halloran at some point in the trailer, and this is where the trailer snaps from creepy to psychologically horrifying. Dick basically admits that Pennywise forced himself into his head. Forced. Not crept in, not haunted, forced himself in. This confirms everything fans suspected. His psychic abilities make him a beacon for it. Remember in the previous episode, the smile that Dick Halloran had, and it was creepy as hell, the clapping, all of that. That's when Pennywise forced himself onto his head. Dick ends up in the sewers too at some point. because there are some shots of him where he's standing at the tunnel entrance in his uniform looking like he's been through hell. It's gonna be interesting to see how all of that comes about. But back to the kids, and this is the moment Pennywise shows up. And he's not doing the goofy smile this time. He looks feral. Cracked forehead, glowing eyes, full rage mode. This isn't the teasing clown. This is the I haven't eaten in decades and I smell fear clown. You can tell the kids didn't expect him to be this close, this fast, or this unhinged. He looks like he's genuinely enjoying the hunt. Now, there are also parts of what appears to be Pennywise walking out of a burning building with like people following him. Those look like victims of a fire that happened. So it looks like one of my other theories about the fire being a big aspect of how Pennywise is choosing to haunt Will is accurate, and it looks like they are going that direction, which is super cool. Now let's talk about the mist that takes over Derry. Just when you think we've had peak chaos, nope. The whole damn town gets swallowed in this supernatural mist. It's rolling over buildings, through streets. It's like the fog, but if the fog was controlled by a demonic space clown, interdimensional parasite shapeshifter. Something like that. The kids step out of the sewers, I think, at that point. I don't think this is before the sewers. I think this is after the sewers. I think this is the big moment at the end of the episode. But the kids step out of the sewers into Derry, a Derry that doesn't look like Derry anymore. Figures start appearing in the fog, floating bodies, pale outlines, almost like memories of Pennywise's victims trapped between dimensions. This may be the coolest visual this show has done so far. It feels wrong in the best way. I'm definitely intrigued to see how this is gonna play out. Then we get this moment, and I think it's gonna be a moment everyone's gonna be talking about after the episode. Pennywise slowly materializing out of the mist, almost swimming through it, and he goes straight for Lilly, straight for her, and he says the line, "I've always wondered how you would taste." Now, it looks like maybe he says this in the tunnels, but it doesn't matter. It's creepy whenever he did say it. Lily's reaction though is pure terror. She is done. The way she falls back in the fog, scrambling, easily could be one of the scariest sequences in the show so far. It looks like Pennywise is singling her out, marking her, testing her fear, and considering Dick's warning, yeah, this thing is in their heads whether they like it or not. But the kids start running, but running in the mist is useless. You don't know what's real, you don't know where you are, and those floating figures, they don't move, they just watch. This might not even be the real Derry at all. It could be Pennywise warping reality, pulling them into its version of the town, the same way he bends space in the well house and sewers and stuff. But episode 5 basically confirms it is getting stronger, feeding, manipulating, expanding. But that's pretty much my breakdown of the trailer and some of the pictures that they released for the mid-season episode. Let me know your theories. Is Pennywise actually targeting Lilly specifically? Is the mist part of the feeding cycle? And how screwed is Dick Halloran right now? Make sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell to be notified when I upload more videos on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.